Hello again, it's Pixelle Cosplay, and today I'm bringing you the second part of my Arcade Misfortune tutorial. Today I'll be teaching you how I made the stars on the belt and the headphones, which you can also use for arcade Sona and ribbon if needed. So the materials you'll be needing today are, preferably if you can, have two different utility knives, one bigger and one smaller. This one should be for cutting out things and this one should be for detailing if you can, but it doesn't really matter. A Sharpie of your choice, a piece of white paper, some hot glue or some super glue, a pair of scissors, a cutting mat of some sort or some really thick cardboard. I'm just going to use the back of an old notebook that I no longer use, and some 6mm garage foam mat. You have to use this one specifically. You can try something thicker, but nothing less than 6mm, as the beveling will not work if you try using craft foam. So first off, what you want to do is we're going to make the pattern for the star, and what you're going to have to use is this piece of paper. So first what you do with your piece of paper is you first fold it in half, the hamburger style way. So now it's folded in half like that. And then once you have it in half, you can pick whatever corner you want, and for the purpose of this video, I'll be using this corner. And what you want to do is you bring this corner right here to the half point of where the other side is as best as you can. So like that. Just try to get it to the middle point as best as you can. It doesn't have to be exact, it won't really affect it or anything. So once you have it like that, you'll take that same corner and then you'll bring it back to the other side so that it creates this triangle right here. So now you have it looking like that, from here to over here. And what you do after that is you take this side and you just fold it completely over the triangular side, I guess you could say. So it looks like that. And the back should look like that. So again, it'll just be this giant fold over the triangular part. And you see this leftover bit right here? All you have to do is just bring this back to the other side, like so. And again, try to make it like as triangular as possible. And there is this kind of crepe thing you get. Okay. So once you have your paper folded and such, you're gonna take your Sharpie and you're gonna draw where you wanna cut your line. And you should have it this way, where the last fold you have is at the top, I guess. And then we're gonna draw a curved line here to make the curved edges of the star. So don't be afraid of drawing it too high up, because if you ever make it too big, you can always size it down. So now you take your scissors and you cut exactly where your line is. And once you cut it, you should have something like that, and that you can unfold it. And it should look like a star. But if you're not satisfied with the size, just fold it back and cut it to however size you want it to be. For my Arcade Misfortune belt, I think I made it quite small since I thought it was the best proportion. So something like about the size of my palm should be pretty good size. The next thing you want to do is have your EVA foam, and you're just gonna completely trace your star pattern onto the foam. What you want to do next is you want to cut this out. You can use a box cutter, but I'll just be quick and use a pair of scissors since it'll be a bit quicker. So now that you have your star shape cut out, you're going to have to go back to your original pattern, and you see all these lines right here? We're going to put that on the back of the foam, and this has to be on the back side in order for it to work. And you see how that there are lines here that go diagonally from the tip of the star to like there's lines that go like straight. I don't really know what the word is, but you can see these lines and they go straight down to this basically. And what you want to do is you want to trace every single one of these lines onto the back of this foam. Like such, if you can see. So once that you have your lines on your foam, if you can actually see, you can kind of see that. What you want to do here now is you're going to take your cutting mat, I guess, and you're going to start doing this thing called a bevel, which is a 45-degree angle cut. With this, I like using a smaller kind of utility knife because it's more precise, and this is what we're going to do. So you see how there are lines here and everywhere? What you want to do is cut it so slightly that you're not actually cutting through the foam exactly. So you just want to really, really, really lightly cut it, like such. Enough so that when you want to crack it open, it'll kind of just do that on its own. But don't force it too much if you can't actually do that. So you want to do that for every single line that you've drawn. And once you have that, you should be able to have like, they should be able to kind of open up a little bit and such. So they should be able to open up a little bit like that. And from what you want to do from there is this really not really complicated process, but you're going to have to cut each line you have at a 45-degree angle starting from the center point. And what you do there is just basically have your box cutter at an angle, and then you just cut it ever so slightly at a diagonal edge that you should be able to really lightly, or not so lightly, you should be able to just kind of rip this out. Like such. Like that. You should be able to rip it out like that so that you have this kind of gap. And you want to do that for both sides. And then you should be able to rip it out and just do that for every single line that you see on here. And there we go, that's the last one. So you should have a bunch of these like gaps in between. So when you flip it over, you can see that if I pinch here, or like where every triangular part of the star is, you get these raised edges. And what you want to do from there, as you can see, now it has this 3D shape, and what you want to do from there is you will be only hot gluing or super gluing the parts that are kind of, so all of these ones right here, that's the part you want to glue. You can ignore these inner ones because they don't really matter, so all you have to do is just glue these, and then let's get to it. I usually like doing 2 at a time to save myself some time. So what you do is then you just go like that, hold it for 10 seconds, and you keep doing it until you don't have any more edges left. So once you're finished gluing, you should have something that looks like this, where all the edges on the inside are glued, and when you flip it to the other side, you should have this beautiful 3D shaped star, like so. Additionally, what you can do for the back of the star, if you don't want people to see it, is you can add a craft foam backing here so that you can just hide all this like glue stuff. And there you have it. This is how I made my stars for my Arcade Misfortune. Again, it works for both Sona and Ribbon as well, so I hope that this helped you on your journey on how to make your own cosplays. And until then, I guess I'll see you next time on my next tutorial. Bye!